And they were on an 11-game winning streak, and they lose 3 in a row. They lose to the Lakers. They lose to Phoenix. They lose to Sacramento. Sacramento dropped 133 on them, but it was without Ja and Steven Adams. Now, Ja will be back into the lineup tonight. Steven Adams will be out of the lineup. This feels like a team and a game that the Warriors can definitely win like they did on Christmas Day, but it feels like the Warriors need this one tonight to just prove to themselves, hey, we're back. It was a little blip in the radar. Sunday against the Brooklyn Nets. It was a fluke. Let's get back to business and handle the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Jonathan Kuminga with all the guys again get back out there. It's nice to have him back. I mean, boy, did they miss his athleticism. And it was nice to see some of the other guys. I barely watched the game the other day. I mean, I watched it in like fast forward mode. I'm going to be 100% honest with you because I was so worried about Niners Cowboys. But just to see a lot of the guys back at full strength was really nice. We needed that. This team needs to go on a little run, though.
They do.
I mean, like,
now they need to go on a run.
It's January 25th.
It's just inexcusable to blow a 12-point lead to that Brooklyn Nets team in the fourth quarter. Now, Kyrie was doing Kyrie type of things. Kyrie's playing unbelievable basketball right now. I mean, he was cooking. But to blow a 12-point lead at home, and the way they did it, the turnovers. I was listening to Tim Roy on the way back from the Niners game. Tim Roy right here on 95.7 The Game, and he's like, you can't go 2 straight possessions without even getting up a shot. Those are inexcusable turnovers.
That's embarrassing.
And Tim Roy was as critical as he could be on the radio broadcast Sunday. I felt for him, and you could hear the crowd like, ugh.
Bonte, late game execution by their stars has been, okay, we could argue about, we need to trade this guy and get this and acquire that.
That wasn't on the kids.
I would argue the number one problem on this team right now throughout this year is late game execution, 6 minutes to go, by their actual best players.
Mm-hmm. So they get outscored by 16 in the second half, Shasky. Outscored by 16 in the second half.
I mean, this is kind of
That's on the starters.
Well, here there's
and like we blame the kids. We blame the kids for so much.
Well, it's not fair.
But it's not fair at all. There's about 8 games the Warriors have just flat out blown.
Well, because I categorize
starters have been responsible for at least 6 of them.
100%. There's the bucket of we care. Like, it's Memphis, it's Boston, we care. That's that bucket.
Right.
And that team that I watch in that bucket, I'm like, wow, that's a fun team. That's a team that I think can be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs. Then there's the team of we kind of care, depending on who's available on that given night, right? That's the middle bucket, and that's a grab bag. I have no idea what's going to happen in that game. They get blown out. They could have a great lead and squander that away. They can hang on for dear life and win. And then there's the third bucket. No one's playing. I actually think that's the most fun bucket that I've seen this year.
It was fun on Friday night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, wasn't it?
You know why? Because
23 made threes.
It feels like max effort from the guys that are actually available.
Ty Jerome.
And I'm not hating on the people that are in, the stars. Like, I understand that you pick and choose your spots. Can I get the first bucket more often? I know you're not going to be motivated every single night. Like, I don't come in here with the same exact motivation every single day. No one does in their job. Like, some days you have a little more energy than others. I get that. I don't pretend to be unrealistic. But can I show more of the first bucket as opposed to that middle bucket? Feels like way too many games have been that middle bucket of, I don't care, and I have no idea what we're going to do today.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Brooklyn Nets, you would thought, okay, they beat the Cavaliers. They have their first winning road trip of the season. You go 3-2 on the road on that 5-game trip. Right? You go 3-2.
What's predictable about this team right now? Why would you? What makes you believe that there's a predictable outcome?
What's predictable is that there's going to be a lot of unpredictability with this basketball team. That's what's predictable. We don't know what we're going to get.
Well, that and specific load management, which is not exclusive to them.
So they dropped to 17-6 at home, and you look at this upcoming stretch here before the All-Star break. Right now, the Warriors are in 10th place. They're a game behind the Mavericks, who are in 6th place. They're a game and a half behind the Clippers, who are in 5th place. They're 2.5 games behind the Pelicans, who are in 4th place. So, look, they go on a little run here. They'll be back in 5th, 6th, and everybody will forget about what's happened the previous 48 games. However, you look at this next stretch of games. Grizzlies tonight. Toronto Friday. And everybody's desperate in Toronto because everybody's trying to get traded, so they're showcasing, trying to put their best film out there, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
The NBA regular season is so bad this year.
So not only that, Oklahoma City Monday, and Oklahoma City quietly playing some damn good basketball. Then you go to Minnesota, then you go to Denver, then you come back home, you play Dallas, you got OKC again, at Portland, and the Lakers, Washington, and the Clippers before the All-Star break. Can you just, Can you go on a run? Can you go 7-4?
That's a run now.
I mean, for this team, yes. 11 games right there. Can you go 7-4 before the break?
I mean, I guess.
You'll be 2 games over 500 by the time you go into the All-Star break.
How many of those games are they going to rest some combination of their top 3 players?
There's 2 back-to-backs.
Well, then, okay, so there's 2 losses baked in. So you need to go 7-2.
So
I mean, do you see where I'm going?
But listen, hold on.
Do you see where I'm going? Like, you're smiling, but you know where it's
Minnesota.
That's ridiculous.
Listen, you got Minnesota and you got ridiculous. Denver in the back-to-back. So you already know guys aren't playing any altitude. So the Denver game is probably going to be an L. And then the last game before the break, you're playing the Clippers after playing Washington. It's probably an L there.
COVID gave the NBA a perfect opportunity to reconfigure everything. And it gave them an opportunity to re-envision their entire outlook on their regular season, their calendar throughout the year. Mm-hmm. And they chose to go with the old format, which I'm sure in their projections of how they make money, I'm sure that makes total sense on a spreadsheet. I'm telling you, the consumer is rejecting this product. And the regular season, unfortunately, because I love basketball. I went to a freaking basketball game last night. I'm going to a game tonight in high school basketball. This is doing the consumer wrong. And I know that there's a financial component, and the teams are doing what they need to do to put themselves in the proper position to win championships. They don't care about the regular season.
So I don't know.
What I'm saying is we're reaching an inflection point. Something's got to change.
So we had a segment on Warriors Pregame Live Friday with Chris Mullen, and we talk about the schedule a lot. And I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I thought it was the perfect chance to reset the calendar and start around Christmas, because then you don't go head up with the NFL
at all.
You do it in January, but obviously the playoffs on the weekends. You have the bulk of your games during the week, Monday through Friday. The weekends, maybe you have a couple games here, a couple games there. Kind of figured it out, and I've always wanted the Premier League format with the NBA.
Yes,
especially over the last 5 years, where you just get one table.
Yeah.
All right, you get one table. East, West, doesn't matter. One freaking table, and the table is basically the standings, and you get points. You win a game, you get 3 points. You lose a game, you get no points. It's perfect. I think it's perfect. 1 through 16 playoffs, no matter if you're East Coast, West Coast, all one playoff format. But with that reset of the calendar around Christmas time, which is always the unofficial start to the NBA, in my opinion, you play 12 games a month. 12 games a month. That's 3 games a week. Everybody plays 3 games a week. No back-to-backs. You do that for 6 months, right? And then all of a sudden you're in June. And you're going into July. Basketball's the perfect summer sport because people have checked out of baseball, right? In the summertime, a lot of people don't watch baseball, man. You want to talk about the NBA regular season? You can watch. People will love to watch the playoffs in the summer.
And because of these things that I'm holding in my hand, which is an iPhone, you can stream anywhere, any place, anytime that you want.
Exactly.
I don't care where you are.
How fun was that Suns-Bucks NBA Finals in the summertime?
It was amazing.
I was in Tahoe, and the bar was packed watching that game.
It was amazing.
It was game 5 when Giannis went crazy. He had the great block on the Ayton.
Yeah.
Amazing game. If you had the NBA go until early August.
I mean, the Olympics are in August, and we have no problem with it, and they rate well.
Nobody cares about
the Olympics. They did until recently. No, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, for the
and
casual
it's every 4
consumers.
years.
Yeah, for a casual consumer. No, again, this is why they're trying to build in some stupid regular season tournament, which we all know is dumb.
That's dumb.
And Steve Kerr echoed it the other day where he was like, hey, we need to do a 72-game season.
Yep.
Like, 72 is still too many. It's 60. 60 is the sweet spot, and you build more playoffs.
I think 66 maybe. 60 could work if you play every team twice, home and away. But our owners and the players are going to give that money up. And that's the thing. The players' union are going to say, well, what about our salaries?
Yeah, well,
because if I'm an owner, I'm not going to want to give people max salaries for playing 66 games over 60 games. Now all of a sudden we got a money problem.
Well, no, I don't think you do, because what ends up happening right now is you've got all these streaming devices, Hulu, Apple Plus, they're all bidding for television rights. And so to think that the money's going to go down because you reduce the amount of games, that's just unequivocally false. They're going to have some sort of a subscription model. It's coming. MLB Network has it for MLB Plus on the app where you could pay for it. League Pass has it where you pay for it. It's going to go to a subscription model at some point. Right now, what is the NFL? Bonte, I don't know do you have Apple Plus?
I do.
Okay. Do you get the notification like I
Yeah,
do?
baseball.
Close game, fourth
Yeah,
quarter.
I get it all the time.
Bills, Dolphins.
Yep.
Do you want to tap in? Like that's coming to the NBA.
Yeah.
It's coming. And here's the funny thing: you're talking about, oh, well, the players don't want to lose any money. ESPN, ABC, TNT is telling telling the NBA. We actually don't want the same amount of games that we have vied for before because we're not getting the same kind of eyeballs.
Yeah.
You're going to pay twice as much for half as many games. That's how it's working
Maybe,
now.
but you got to jump through a lot of hurdles, though, and I don't think people understand that. The players will not give up their money.
Well, and
the
there's
players' union is not going to buy that. The owners are not going to
there's
buy
a
that.
gate revenue aspect that is a whole separate conversation. But in terms of the amount of pie that's coming out, Bonte, the number's going up because of television rights.
No doubt. Well, that's basketball talk. We got Warriors Grizzlies today. Warriors Grizzlies. I'm enjoying some of the regular season, but it has been kind of ho-hum because of low management. It's
been one of the worst regular seasons I can remember.
You don't know who's playing. You don't know who's in. You don't know who's out. I mean, they've got to do something about that.
Tyrese Halliburton's like 23. He's load managed like 9 games. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Going to be ugly. We're going to talk to Anthony Slater, and he just actually, we're going to talk to him at 8:30. He wrote a great piece alongside Marcus Thompson and Sam Amick about why the Warriors are in danger of losing Bob Myers. There's a story out right now, so that's going to be some interesting content when we get to Anthony Slater at 8:30.